Well, we're back again today to take another look at the Catechism's summary of God's plan of salvation, how we're delivered from our sin and misery by the work of Jesus Christ. And today we're looking at Lord's Day 6 of the Catechism, and there's 4 questions and answers, and I'll read them for us. Question and answer 16, why must he, this mediator that we should look for, why must he be truly righteous and truly human? The answer is that God's justice demands that human nature, which has sin, must pay for its sin, but a sinner could never pay for others. Question and answer 17, so why must this mediator also be true God? The answer, so that by the power of his divinity he might bear the weight of God's anger in his humanity and earn for us and restore to us righteousness and life. Question and answer 18, who is this mediator, true God and at the same time truly human and truly righteous? And the answer, our Lord Jesus Christ, who was given us to set us completely free and to make us right with God. And finally, question and answer 19, how do you come to know this? The answer is that the Holy Gospel tells me. God himself began to reveal the gospel already in paradise. Later, he proclaimed it by the holy patriarchs and prophets and portrayed it by the sacrifices and other ceremonies of the law. Finally, he fulfilled it through his own dear Son. Last time we looked at the Catechism, we asked ourselves the question, if we're not good enough to speak to God on our own behalf, to plead for his mercy ourselves, then who can do this for us? Lord's Day 5 ended with a statement that our mediator must be truly human and truly righteous, yet more powerful than all creatures, that is, one who is also true God. What the Catechism is saying, in other words, what the Bible is saying, is that since humans sin, a human being must pay the price for sin. As Craig Barnes, Presbyterian pastor, puts it in his book in the Catechism, Body and Soul, our mediator cannot try to talk God into compromises on righteousness. Our sin is simply too much for such an effort. No, the price for sin must be paid by the one who incurred the debt. But not just any human will do. The debt must be paid by someone with a perfect obedience that Adam lacked. As Romans 5 tells us, just as through the disobedience of the one man the many were made sinners, so also an entry point is needed for perfect righteousness to again come into the human experience. But what person, what human being can bear the infinite wrath of an infinite God against the infinite debt of human sin? I think it's pretty clear that infinity is something that we cannot grasp. Our God is a consuming fire, the Bible warns in Deuteronomy 4. I can't sustain God's cleansing fire in my own life, much less add to it the cleansing fire that you and everyone else have to undergo too. A perfect human might win his or her own salvation, but not everyone else's. What we needed is not just the possibility of salvation, but the actual gift to choose again what is right and good for us. And who is this mediator? That's the question the whole world was waiting for through the whole history of the Old Testament. The answer that the Catechism finally gives us in question and answer 18. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, we see messages of God's anger against us, against sin, and the weight of that. There are hints, too, of the need for God himself to intervene on our behalf. For example, in Isaiah 59, we see that God's own arm brought salvation. His own righteousness upheld him. But until Jesus was revealed, until the Son of God, the second person of the Trinity, took form in Jesus of Nazareth, the identity of the mediator remained a mystery. We who live with the benefit of the New Testament and the church sometimes forget what a breathless wonder it is that, in the words of John 3:16, God so loved the world that he gave his only Son. This is a joyful message. It is good news as the word gospel, which means good news, proclaims. And it is news which is still good today. There are countless people, even in our own community, who have no idea what it would mean to be delivered from the weight of God's righteous judgment. There are people who do not know who can restore them to God's favor, or even what it would mean for things to be set right again. And it's that good news, that gospel, that we proclaim and that we are called to tell to one another and to our neighbors.